Welcome back to the channel. Rare Coins All World. If you're a fan of rare coins or just curious about what might be hiding in your spare change, today we have a fascinating discovery to share with you. We're diving into one of the most talked about coins in the world of numismatics, the 1970 Lincoln penny with a unique mint mark. This small, seemingly ordinary penny may hold a much larger value than you might imagine. Stick with us as we uncover the history, rarity, and potential value of the 1970 Lincoln penny, and by the end, we'll reveal just how much this tiny treasure could be worth today. The United States has a rich history when it comes to coinage, and the Lincoln penny is one of the most iconic pieces in American currency. Introduced in 1909 to honor President Abraham Lincoln, the penny has undergone various design changes over the years, but it's always been a symbol of American heritage. The 1970 Lincoln penny stands out for a few key reasons, particularly because of the unique characteristics and minting errors that can dramatically increase its value. The Lincoln penny from 1970, like many other pennies, was produced in large quantities, making it seem like a coin you might find in any pocket or change jar. But the real story begins and you take a closer look at the mint mark. For most 1970 pennies, the mint mark can be found beneath the date on the obverse side of the coin, near Abraham Lincoln's shoulder. Most of these coins have a D mint mark, indicating that they were produced in the Denver Mint. However, there is something very special about some of these 1970 pennies that make them incredibly rare and valuable. The most sought-after version of the 1970 Lincoln penny is the one with the S mint mark. These coins were produced at the San Francisco Mint, but the trick is that the S mint mark was not supposed to be there. In fact, the San Francisco Mint primarily produced proof coins, not regular circulation coins. So, when some 1970 pennies were accidentally minted with the S mint mark instead of the typical D, it created an error that would eventually catch the attention of collectors. While these rare 1970 pennies with the S mint mark were originally believed to be part of a special proof set, many of them were accidentally released into circulation. This meant that these coins were being used in everyday transactions, often being spent without anyone realizing their potential value. Over time, as the penny circulated and was used by the public, it became harder and harder to find these rare coins in good condition, making them more sought after by numismatists. One of the key factors that adds to the value of the 1970 Lincoln penny is its rarity. While thousands, if not millions, of pennies were produced in 1970, only a small number were struck with the S mint mark. Even rarer still are the coins that have survived in excellent condition. Pennies that have been carefully preserved, stored away in mint condition, are far more valuable to collectors, as they are much harder to come by. Additionally, the value of this coin isn't just tied to its rarity. The 1970 penny is considered a double die error by some collectors, which means that the coin was struck twice during the minting process. This can cause the features of the coin, especially the inscriptions and the date, to appear slightly doubled or offset, adding another layer of intrigue for collectors. You might be wondering, how much is this coin really worth? If you've got one of these rare 1970 Lincoln pennies, you could be holding onto a real treasure. In fact, some of these coins, especially those in uncirculated condition or with additional errors, have been sold for staggering amounts at auctions and coin shows. For example, a 1970 Lincoln penny in mint condition, or with an additional error like the double die, has been known to fetch as much as $45,000. So, the next time you come across a 1970 penny, take a moment to check the mint mark and inspect its condition. You might just have an unexpected fortune in your hands. If you have a coin collection, be sure to check your pennies from 1970. Even if you don't think they're anything special, you could be sitting on a potential goldmine. Before we wrap up, let's recap. The 1970 Lincoln penny with the S mint mark is rare, highly sought after, and incredibly valuable, especially if it's in excellent condition or has a unique minting error. It's a perfect example of how something as simple as a penny can hold a hidden value, waiting to be discovered. Today, we're about to explore one of the most intriguing coins in American numismatics, the 1973 Lincoln penny with a rare mint mark. This small yet significant coin has captured the attention of collectors for years, and for good reason. By the end of this video, you'll learn exactly what makes this penny so valuable, and you'll be shocked by the price tag it can carry today. The Lincoln penny has been an iconic part of American currency for over a century, first introduced in 1909 to honor President Abraham Lincoln. Since its debut, the design has seen several changes, but it's remained a beloved piece of America's numismatic history. Fast forward to 1973, a year that might not seem particularly special at first glance, but when it comes to coins, it's a year full of surprises. You see, while millions of Lincoln pennies were minted in 1973, one particular variation has caught the attention of collectors, and it's not the typical D mint mark you might expect. Let's talk about the 1973 Lincoln penny and why it stands out from the rest. The most common version of this coin is stamped with the D mint mark, indicating it was struck at the Denver Mint. These pennies were produced in large numbers and circulated widely across the country. However, if you dig a little deeper into coin history, you'll find that the 1973 penny can be much rarer than that. There are certain 1973 pennies with an S mint mark, which means they were struck at the San Francisco Mint. But here's where it gets really interesting. The 1973 S mint mark Lincoln penny wasn't supposed to be minted as part of regular circulation. Instead, the San Francisco Mint was primarily responsible for producing proof coins that year, coins meant to be sold in special sets for collectors, not coins for everyday transactions. However, due to a mix-up in the minting process, a small number of 1973 pennies were mistakenly struck with the S mint mark, which caused a stir in the numismatic world. These rare coins, although intended for proof sets, ended up in circulation alongside the standard D mint mark pennies. While most of these coins were spent and disappeared into the general population, a few survived, and today, they are some of the most sought-after pennies in existence. Now, you might be wondering, why do collectors care so much about these coins? Well, the primary reason is their rarity. While millions of pennies were minted in 1973, the number of pennies with the S mint mark is incredibly small. Many of them were lost to circulation, and as time passed, the remaining coins were often worn down by heavy use. The true value of the 1973 S Lincoln penny comes from its scarcity and condition. Pennies in excellent, uncirculated condition are extremely valuable, as finding one that hasn't been damaged by wear or heavy use is rare. But wait, there's more. Another reason these coins are so valuable is because some of them exhibit additional minting errors. For example, some of these 1973 pennies were struck twice, creating a phenomenon known as a double die error. This causes the details of the coin, like the date or the inscriptions, to appear doubled or blurred, making these coins even more interesting to collectors. Errors like these are always in high demand, as they are unique and cannot be replicated. If you happen to have a 1973 S Lincoln penny with a minting error, you could be holding on to something truly special. So, how much could your 1973 S penny be worth? If you're fortunate enough to find one of these rare coins, especially one in near-perfect condition or with a minting error, you could be sitting on a fortune. While the typical 1973 S Lincoln penny with no errors may not be worth much more than face value, a coin in uncirculated condition or with a unique flaw has the potential to sell for significant amounts. Some of these coins have been sold at auctions for thousands of dollars, and in rare cases, even more. Are you ready for the big reveal? If you have a 1973 S Lincoln penny that's in mint condition, or better yet, one with a double die error or other unique features, you could potentially sell it for as much as $48,000. Yes, you heard that right, $48,000 for a single penny. It's incredible to think that such a small piece of history could be worth so much, but that's the magic of coin collecting. The right coin, in the right condition, with the right features, can be worth a small fortune. So, if you happen to have a stash of old coins or come across a 1973 penny, take a moment to check its mint mark and examine its condition. You might just have a valuable treasure on your hands. And even if your penny doesn't have the rare mint mark or any minting errors, it's still worth holding on to. It could increase in value over time. Today's video is sure to captivate you. We're diving into the world of the 1980 Lincoln penny, a seemingly ordinary coin that has become a true gem for numismatists. This penny, which may have passed through your hands countless times, could actually be worth much more than you might think. Stick around as we unravel the fascinating story of the 1980 Lincoln penny, its rarity, and just how much it could be worth in today's market. The Lincoln penny has been a staple of American currency for over a century, with its design and symbolism deeply ingrained in the nation's identity. Introduced in 1909 to honor President Abraham Lincoln, the penny has gone through several design changes, but the image of the 16th president's profile has remained iconic. The 1980 penny, however, holds a special place in the world of coin collecting, not because of any major design alterations, but because of a rare and valuable anomaly that makes it stand out among millions of other pennies minted that year. To understand why the 1980 Lincoln penny is so significant, let's first take a look at the coin's design. On the obverse, you'll find the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. This image has become one of the most recognizable symbols of American coinage. On the reverse side, you'll find a depiction of the Lincoln Memorial, which has been the standard reverse for the penny since 1959. At first glance, the 1980 penny looks like just another run-of-the-mill coin, but the story of its value lies in a very particular detail: the mint mark. In 1980, the United States Mint produced pennies at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints, and as usual, these coins were marked with either a P or a D to indicate their place of origin. Most 1980 Lincoln pennies were minted in Denver, with the D mint mark, while a smaller number came from the Philadelphia Mint, marked with a P. But what sets this penny apart is the specific rarity associated with some of these coins. While the majority of 1980 pennies are relatively common and don't carry much value beyond their face value, there is a rare variation of the 1980 penny that has become highly coveted among collectors, the 1980 no mint mark penny. Now, you might be asking, what's so special about a coin that doesn't have a mint mark? Well, in 1980, the Philadelphia Mint produced some pennies without the traditional P mint mark, and these coins were inadvertently released into circulation. Normally, coins produced at the Philadelphia Mint are stamped with a P, so a penny without a mint mark from that year is a rare anomaly. The lack of a mint mark makes these 1980 pennies highly sought after, as they represent an unusual mistake in the minting process. While these no mint mark pennies are rare, they're not the only 1980 Lincoln pennies worth noting. Another factor that contributes to their value is their condition. Just like with any collectible item, the better the condition of the coin, the higher its value. Most pennies from the 1980s, including the 1980 Lincoln penny, were heavily circulated and show signs of wear and tear. But for the lucky few who have a 1980 penny in uncirculated or near mint condition, the potential value skyrockets. In addition to the rare, no mint mark coins, some 1980 Lincoln pennies also feature unique characteristics due to minting errors. These errors might include things like misstrikes, double dies, or other abnormalities that make the coin stand out even further. These error coins are especially prized by collectors, as they are one of a kind and cannot be reproduced. If you happen to find a 1980 penny with an error, you could have something truly valuable on your hands. So, you're probably wondering, how much can a 1980 Lincoln penny actually be worth? If you've got an uncirculated 1980 penny with a no mint mark, or one with a rare minting error, you could be holding onto a valuable treasure. While most 1980 pennies are worth just 1 cent, those that are in mint condition or feature a rare error can be worth much more. In fact, a 1980 no mint mark penny in uncirculated condition has been known to sell for astonishing prices at coin auctions and through private collectors. Are you ready for the big reveal? The value of a 1980 Lincoln penny, especially if it's in pristine condition or has an error, can reach as much as $58,000. Yes, that's right, $58,000 for a single penny. It's truly mind-blowing to think that such a small, everyday coin could carry such a hefty price tag, but that's the beauty of the world of rare coins. With the right mint mark, condition, and maybe even a little bit of luck, your 1980 penny could be worth more than you ever imagined. So, the next time you dig through your change, take a moment to examine those pennies. You might have a hidden treasure just waiting to be discovered. Make sure to look for any missing mint marks, unusual features, or signs of wear and tear that could make your coin stand out. You never know, that old penny you find in your pocket could be worth more than you think. Today, we have an exciting discovery that could completely change the way you look at your spare change. You might think that a penny is just a penny, but some pennies have hidden value that could surprise you. If you're a fan of rare and valuable coins, you're in for a treat. In this video, we're going to explore the 1981 Lincoln penny, a coin that might seem common at first, but with a few key details, could be worth a small fortune. Stick around to the end, and we'll reveal exactly how much this penny could be worth today. The Lincoln penny, one of the most recognizable and beloved coins in American history, has been in circulation for over a century. Since its introduction in 1909, the design has evolved, but the image of President Abraham Lincoln has remained central. The 1981 Lincoln penny, like other pennies produced during that time, features Lincoln's portrait on the front and the Lincoln Memorial on the back. At first glance, it seems like just another routine coin, but there's much more to this penny than meets the eye. The 1981 Lincoln penny was produced in large quantities, and most of them circulated without much fanfare. In fact, they were minted in such high numbers that the 1981 penny is often considered a standard, everyday coin. However, there's a specific variation of the 1981 penny that has caught the attention of serious collectors. This variation involves the mint mark, a small detail that makes all the difference. In 1981, the United States Mint struck pennies at two locations, the Denver Mint and the Philadelphia Mint. Pennies minted in Denver were marked with the D mint mark, while those from Philadelphia typically carried a P mint mark. But here's where things get interesting. While the vast majority of 1981 pennies are stamped with the D or P, there is a specific error coin that has become the holy grail for collectors, the 1981 penny without a mint mark. Now, you might be wondering how a coin could be produced without a mint mark. The answer lies in a fascinating story of a rare minting error. In 1981, the Philadelphia Mint was responsible for producing a large number of pennies, and in a rare mistake, some of these pennies were released without the usual P mint mark. Normally, all coins produced at the Philadelphia Mint are stamped with a P, so any penny from that mint without a mark is an unusual and highly prized anomaly. These no mint mark 1981 pennies are incredibly rare, and they've become a collector's dream. Why is this so significant? Well, rarity plays a huge role in the value of a coin. The 1981 penny, in general, isn't particularly rare in itself. However, the error coins, those with no mint mark, are extremely hard to come by. Because of the mistake in production, only a small number of these no mint mark pennies were released into circulation, making them scarce and highly valuable. The condition of the coin also plays a huge role in its value. Most 1981 pennies, like many coins from the same era, were used in everyday transactions, which means they've likely experienced some wear and tear. But for the lucky few who have managed to find these rare, no mint mark pennies in excellent or uncirculated condition, the potential value is much higher. Coins that are well preserved and show little to no signs of wear are considered highly desirable in the world of numismatics, and they can command a much higher price. To make things even more interesting, there are other factors that can increase the value of the 1981 penny. Some of these rare coins may also exhibit additional minting errors, such as double dies or off-center strikes. These unique features make the coins even more valuable to collectors, as they represent one-of-a-kind pieces that are impossible to replicate. So, how much could you expect a 1981 no mint mark penny to be worth? While the typical 1981 penny might only be worth 1 cent, the rare no mint mark coins are a different story. Coins that are in excellent condition, free from wear, and with the minting error intact, can be worth thousands of dollars. But the real shocker comes when you find out how much the most valuable of these coins can fetch. If you have one of these rare 1981, no mint mark, pennies in your collection or find one hidden away in your change jar, you could be sitting on a treasure worth as much as $60,000. Yes, you heard that correctly, $60,000 for a single penny. It's hard to believe that a coin as small and simple as a penny could carry such a large price tag, but that's the magic of rare coins. The right coin, in the right condition, with the right minting error, can fetch a price that will truly astound you. So, if you're out hunting through your spare change, be sure to check the mint mark on those 1981 pennies. You never know when you might find a rare one without a mint mark, or one with an additional minting error. And remember, even if your 1981 penny doesn't have any major errors or missing mint marks, it still might be worth holding on to. It could increase in value over time. Today's video will definitely get your heart racing. What might seem like a simple, everyday coin could actually be worth thousands, if you know what to look for. In this video, we're going to take a deep dive into the 1982 Lincoln penny, a coin that has become a true gem in the world of numismatics. Stick around, because you won't believe just how much this penny could be worth today. When we think of the Lincoln penny, we usually think of the iconic image of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse side of the coin, with his famous portrait staring back at us. And on the reverse side, we find the Lincoln Memorial, a symbol of the nation's heritage and a constant feature on pennies minted from 1959 all the way until 2008. However, the 1982 Lincoln penny stands out not just for its design, but for a fascinating change in the U.S. mint's production process that turned the coin into something far rarer and much more valuable. 1982 was a year of major change for the United States economy and its currency production. In an effort to curb rising metal costs, the U.S. Mint decided to change the composition of the penny. Prior to 1982, the penny was made primarily of copper, but due to the rising price of copper, the mint began transitioning to a primarily zinc-based composition with a copper coating. The change was implemented throughout 1982, but what's interesting about this transition is that both copper and zinc pennies were minted during that year. This shift in material created a major distinction between the two types of pennies, and it's this difference that makes the 1982 Lincoln penny such an intriguing and valuable coin to collectors. So, what's the big deal with the 1982 penny? The value of this coin lies in the different types of 1982 pennies that were produced, and the rarity of the copper variety is what has made it a hot commodity in the coin collecting world. While most of the pennies minted in 1982 were made with the new copper-plated zinc composition, a small number of pennies were still produced with the traditional copper composition. This small window of copper production is where the value lies. If you find a 1982 penny that is made entirely of copper, then you have a coin that is incredibly rare. These copper pennies were meant to be phased out, but a few of them were still struck before the mint fully switched to the zinc version. The copper 1982 pennies are highly sought after because they are so scarce. It's estimated that only about 7% of the 1982 pennies were actually struck in copper, making them a true rarity in the world of coin collecting. But here's the catch: it's not always easy to distinguish between the copper and zinc versions of the 1982 penny. Both types look very similar at first glance, and it can be difficult to tell them apart by simply looking at them. The key difference is in their weight and composition. Copper pennies weigh around 3.11 grams, while the zinc pennies weigh slightly less at 2.5 grams. So, if you have a scale and the right tools, you can easily determine whether your 1982 penny is made of copper or zinc. But that's not all. There are other factors that can increase the value of the coin even further. The condition of the penny plays a crucial role in determining its worth. As with any collectible item, the better the condition, the higher the price it can fetch. Most 1982 pennies were heavily circulated, which means they show signs of wear and damage. But if you happen to find a 1982 copper penny in uncirculated condition, meaning it has minimal or no signs of wear, then you could be holding on to a real treasure. Uncirculated copper pennies from 1982 can fetch prices that are far higher than what you might expect for a standard coin. In addition to the copper versus zinc issue, there are also some other rare variations of the 1982 penny that can drive up its value. For example, minting errors, such as double dies or misstrikes, are common in coins, and these error coins can sometimes be worth even more than the standard issue. If you happen to find a 1982 penny with a unique error or abnormality, you could be in possession of something truly valuable that collectors will pay top dollar for. So, now that we've covered the rarity of the copper 1982 pennies and the factors that affect their value, you're probably wondering, how much could these rare coins actually be worth? While most 1982 pennies are worth just 1 cent, the copper versions, especially those in excellent condition, can command astronomical prices at auctions or among private collectors. If you happen to have one of these rare 1982 copper pennies, and especially if it's in pristine, uncirculated condition or has a minting error, the value can skyrocket. The most valuable 1982 Lincoln penny, particularly the copper version, has been known to sell for as much as $64,000, yes, you heard that right, $64,000 for a single penny. It's almost unbelievable that such a small coin, something that's often overlooked in change, could be worth so much. But that's the incredible reality in the world of rare coin collecting. The right coin, in the right condition, can be worth far more than its face value. So, next time you're sifting through your pocket change or looking through your old coins, make sure to check those 1982 pennies carefully. You could be holding onto a rare copper version that could be worth a small fortune. With just a little bit of research and attention to detail, you might just uncover a hidden treasure in your own collection. Today, we're diving into a hidden gem from the world of coin collecting, the 1993 Lincoln penny. You might be thinking, a 1993 penny? What's so special about that? Well, trust us when we say, this seemingly ordinary coin might be worth far more than you'd expect. So stick with us as we explore what makes the 1993 Lincoln penny a truly fascinating find for collectors. The Lincoln penny, first introduced in 1909, has been a staple of American currency for over a century. The design has undergone changes over the years, but the familiar face of President Abraham Lincoln has remained. Most of us encounter Lincoln pennies in our daily lives, often without giving them a second thought. But not every penny is created equal, and some of them carry hidden value, especially those from specific years, like the 1993 mint mark. The 1993 Lincoln penny was part of the long-running series that continued to feature Lincoln's portrait on the obverse side and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse side until 2008. In 1993, these pennies were produced at the Philadelphia Mint, marked with the P mint mark, and the Denver Mint, marked with the D mint mark. Most of these coins circulated widely and were used in countless transactions. However, there's a rare and elusive version of the 1993 penny that has intrigued collectors and numismatists alike. What makes the 1993 Lincoln penny so special is the presence of a very specific error that occurred during its production. You see, coins can sometimes have flaws, minting errors, that make them stand out from the rest. These errors are incredibly rare, and when discovered, they can send collectors into a frenzy, pushing the value of the coin far beyond its face value. One of the most exciting aspects of the 1993 Lincoln penny is the occurrence of what's known as a double die error. A double die is a type of minting mistake where the design is struck more than once, causing a slight overlap of the features. This error can result in misalignment, doubling, or even blurring of details on the coin. In the case of the 1993 penny, a double die error on the obverse side, where Lincoln's portrait appears, has made these coins extremely desirable. The 1993 double die Lincoln penny is incredibly rare, and because of this, it has become a treasure for collectors looking to add an exceptional piece to their collection. Most of the 1993 pennies were minted without any errors, so finding one with a double die can feel like striking gold. These types of minting mistakes are highly prized because they are a testament to the imperfect yet fascinating process of coin production, but that's not the only reason why collectors are willing to pay top dollar for the 1993 Lincoln penny. The coin's overall rarity, combined with the fact that it's from a period of transition in the U.S. Mint's production, makes it an even more sought-after item. The early 1990s marked a time when the U.S. Mint was undergoing various changes to its production methods and materials, which adds to the historical significance of the coin. Now, let's talk about the value. The standard 1993 Lincoln penny is worth, as you might expect, just 1 cent. But if you happen to come across a 1993 penny with that elusive double die error or other minting flaws, the value skyrockets. It's important to note that the condition of the coin plays a major role in determining its worth. Coins that are in pristine, uncirculated condition are far more valuable than those that have been heavily circulated. A well-preserved 1993 penny, especially one with a minting error, can fetch an incredible price. So, how much can you expect to make from a 1993 Lincoln penny if it has the double die error or other unique features? Well, the value can range significantly depending on the coin's condition and rarity. However, for those lucky enough to own one of these prized pennies, the value can be staggering. In fact, if you have a 1993 penny in near-perfect condition with a double die or other error, it could be worth as much as $68,000, yes, that's right, $68,000 for a single penny. It's hard to imagine that a coin that's commonly found in your spare change could fetch such a large sum. But that's the beauty of coin collecting. Sometimes, rare and unique coins can be worth far more than their face value. The 1993 Lincoln penny, particularly those with minting errors, stands as a testament to the fascinating world of rare coin collecting. So, how can you tell if you have one of these valuable 1993 Lincoln pennies? The first step is to examine the coin closely, especially around Lincoln's portrait. If you notice any signs of doubling or misalignment, you may have found an error coin. It's also important to consider the coin's overall condition. Coins in pristine condition, with little to no wear, are always more valuable to collectors. If you believe you have a 1993 penny with a double die error or any other minting flaw, it's worth getting it appraised by a professional coin dealer to determine its true value. Next time you go through your coin collection or check your spare change, keep an eye out for the 1993 Lincoln penny. If you're lucky enough to find one with a double die or other error, you could be holding on to a small fortune. It's amazing how something as simple as a penny can carry such incredible value. So keep searching, keep collecting, and who knows, you might just be sitting on a coin worth more than you ever imagined. Thank you for watching today's video on the rare and valuable 1993 Lincoln penny. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of numismatics and want to learn more about rare and valuable coins, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss our latest discoveries. Who knows, your next find could be worth $68,000. Keep collecting, and happy hunting.